Hello everyone, welcome back. I'm Jacob Silverblade, and today there is several things I need to discuss and say. Number one, I have a new PC. What does this mean? Well, it's a lot better, and that means basically, I'm hoping at least, that I'm able to start streaming. So hopefully, I'll have a stream going tomorrow on YouTube. And absolutely, yeah, if you want to come along, hang out, play some Warpforge, that'll be lovely. The second thing that I need to announce is that it's already been announced, but there is a tournament going on, which I'm a part of, which I'll probably be recording / live streaming, hopefully. And that's the second reason why also to get the new PC, not just the live stream in general, but also live stream tournament. That would be ideal, So, with that being said, I need to show off what's going on in this tournament, what I'm doing, how I'm going to be participating, what decks I'm running, and then also finally, because it is a new PC, am I sounding good? Because I've done things on OBS and stuff like that, and I've basically had to redo everything from scratch. So if I'm not sounding good or something's sounding off or whatever, then please let me know, because I don't want to make it seem like I am now somehow, whatever, like sounding completely different and sounding completely weird. So, I've got some decks. We're going to save this one to last. Here are my 4 decks, actually, I should say. Vara Tigurius, Jane Zar, Zara Hexagon, and Commissar Denkler. Saving this one to last. And the reason why I'm saving this one to last is because, well, it's quite a spicy one, actually. I only just discovered this before the tournament. It wasn't that long before the tournament. And then when I discovered it, just before the tournament, I was like, I kind of want to keep this under wraps. Because it's, well, I wouldn't say it really is a spicy one. I'm not saying it's the most powerful deck in the game, but I think it gets up there, not gonna lie. It really does. So let's go through them. Something which is a bit different, which I do not believe is the most powerful deck in the game, but it's very different. It's Commissar Denkler. And it's basically, the main thing about it is that we're not running like the Lehman Russ tanks and stuff like that, but we do have is a lot of go wide potential. So we've got mechanized infantry, we got of course Lightest Griff, technically go wide. I mean, it's the reason why funny thing is it's broken because it kind of goes wide as well, because you get 2 for 1, and it's like, what? But anyway, Chimera, of course, and so and then Armored Lightning. So you've got several stratagems here, which summon 3 guys each, and we have like 4 of them in our deck, and then we just a whole bunch of other guys. So we got shock troopers really do combine with Commissar Denkler and that stuff like that. Got pretty darn low curve, so that helps with the go wide. Minkaless, of course, allows you to summon multiple things. Only 1 Kassakin, and only 1 Vox. And the reason why we only have 1 Vox is because we're not like combining a Vox operator with a Lehman Russ. We're only doing it for Chimera, so we can't massively utilize the Vox operator. And plus, sometimes having 2 Vox operators isn't that great. So with this, we have to find some synergies which makes mechanized infantry better, because its main advantage of using mechanized infantry is that it costs 1 less for when you deploy a vehicle. So we need some extra vehicles. Of course, the new vehicle out, Quinn Servo Sentry, got 2 of those, got 2 Chimeras. Now we have to take out the Lehman Russ, but we put something else in. And there's 3 reasons for this, actually. First thing is Scout Sentinel. It's actually quite a good unit. It's not bad stat line at all. And it also has camouflage, so it becomes harder to remove than you would expect. It lives more often than you expect, and for that reason it's got duty, drawing 2 cards. That is the first reason. It alleviates a weakness of this deck, which is card draw. This has innate card draw, which enables us to be able to keep on going and keep on applying pressure, and keep on spamming that board. Second thing it is of course it synergizes with mechanized infantry, because it lowers the cost of the vehicles by 1, so you can just need to play 1 Scout Sentinel on E4, and then you get mechanized infantry on E5. Final thing is, you play Scout Sentinel, and if it does live, you now have Armored Lightning. And Armored Lightning, of course, is an extremely powerful stratagem. I actually think this also needs nerfs, to be honest. I would probably just remove the Armor 1 part. I think that might be a bit too much. But yes, it also synergizes with Armored Lightning, which is if you control a vehicle, give them Armor 1, which is brilliant because that is, you know, you want to be playing this on E4. You know, ideally, you play a vehicle on E4 and then Armored Lightning on E5, or you go for something like the Equivalent Servo Sentry with the Armored Lightning in a single turn on like E6. Those are the ideal plays you're going for. So that's why we've got the Equivalent Servo Sentry, it's why we've got the Armored Lightning, we've got Chimera, and then at that point we might well play Mechanized Infantry. So those are some synergies there, and that's why we got like what wouldn't normally be seen is the Scout Sentinel. Now of course we've got High Command because it's extremely powerful, and we'll get a particular combo with that later. Artillery Strike, I know the new thing on the block is something I probably don't have. Let me find it. I don't have KD stands easier, so that's why I don't have that, despite being a spamming deck. But the Valkyrie drop, that's the new kid on the block. Yes, it is very good. But I think ever since Artillery Strike actually got its cost decrease, where is it? Here we are. I think it's pretty darn comparable. The 5 damage can be really useful. It's also really nice when it comes to just dealing with stealth units. Yes, deploying that Shock Trooper, Tempest to Scion, sorry, with the flank is very nice. Don't get me wrong, it's able to stun another troop. It can be more powerful, totally, don't get me wrong. But it's Artillery Strike, I think it's still very comparable in my opinion. So I think this is overall a very solid deck. The final thing I should say is Melandrosk. So we're not playing that sort of like siege warfare, go for a style. We're really trying to go for using the tactics to enable to go wide, and support for it with the Acadia Standard Bearer, I should say, which duty ability is even worthwhile. If you've got like 4 guys on the field, you can give this guy flank with Commissar Denkler to activate the duty ability straight away, and then you will get +4. Even though you're getting 1 less attack, Commissar Denkler, that can be just worthwhile and allows you to finish the game. But Drosk, as you'll see, we've got 10 stratagems in the deck. That's quite a bit actually, and if you're able to have a couple of troops, let's just say 1, maybe 2, you play Drosk on E8, you give it flank, you allow your other guys to shoot and take out maybe key targets, important things. They then trigger the regiment of Drosk, allowing you to draw extra stratagems, and then you decrease the cost of them, which is really important, as I say, when it comes to High Command. Now you've got a free High Command, which means that you can undo that, and then you go straight into maybe a God Spear, which is another card we have. We also have some very important things like Summary Execution, stuff like that, which is really important with the Verban Vanquishers and the Krillin Servo Sentry. Yeah, as I say, the Artillery Strikes, the High Command, and then of course itself, the whole point of the deck, the Armored Lightning and the Mechanized Infantry. Decreasing the cost of these by 4 means that you can just play them out straight away with Drosk. So that's another synergy that we have here. It really allows you to spam the board, and it gives you that innate card draw. I think it's really good. Absolutely love this. Next up, we've got Xyla Hexcorn, and this, I'll be frankly honest, is a complete straight up steal from BJ's deck that he did on Xyla Hexcorn, and I think he stole it from somewhere else. I can't remember who that guy is, and that annoys me because he's a very good Chaos player. But this is Chaos deck. I've got actually a full Chaos collection. This is a very good deck. I've completely stolen it. I even tested taking something out and putting in what I really wanted to put in was Dark Apostle, but it just ends up not really working. And I'm just better off doing what I discovered. I'm better off doing it. I took out the Veteran Legionary, and I've just swapped it back because I've ended up discovering it works better, and it can. There are clutch plays. Oh, yeah. Don't want that. Wait, nope. There we go. Very clutch plays of that. It's a very strong deck. And I see in some of the games. Absolutely love this. Final thing I should say is, well, not say, but we also got Jane Zar. Jane Zar, this is a little bit different from you'll see typical Jane Zar. typically you see, because it's like the only armored removal. I just don't think it's that good of a unit. You know, it's got like low life for 7 energy, below 7 range attack. The rally is like half decent. With the only reason why we take it is because armor is a problem for Eldar, and it sort of solves that problem of armor. So that's why you take this, the Fire Prism. It solves the armor problem by doing damage to armored units. But I don't take it. I just lean into what Janzar does best, in my opinion. Apologies, there's an alarm which is going off. No matter. Which is what I believe is stun locking things, utilizing stuff like, you know, being able to control the board, utilizing a lot of flank troops, and I've lent to that into even more. So I've got something like Shining Spears, which you wouldn't normally see. Let's go to this stage. Got Shining Spears, which you would normally see. I find that you just get enough stones with that. I've taken out also I think it's the 5 energy, in it you spend 3 stones, which is a lot of stones, but you're able to gain fast. I've opted for the Vanguard Wraithblade, Vengeful Wraithblade. It's only 2 stones, so I like it a lot better. It's also got better stats for the 6 life, and of course the 2 armor it can get. Overall, it's better stats. It's also like, you know, the other thing is flying with 5 range attack, where this is 5 melee. Yeah, but it's got like more life and stuff, and so hence it can still deal with targets the same way. The main thing is it's got Vanguard and can gain armor too, so they have to actually deal with it, I quite often find. And if they have to deal with this, and you know, it's very useful, because then you've got like rangers which are protected by it, so they can't just take out the rangers straight away when you've got that, or the guardian defenders, maybe they're still alive because they use the shuriken to take things out. I think it's very, very important. I absolutely love it. And those are like the main and then finally Fire and Fade. Pretty much, I know people like to use the Warp Spiders, and don't get me wrong, they're a very good unit. I prefer not using that. I just don't think it quite synergizes. Like, it does synergize. I don't know. I guess I just don't like it for Eldar too much. And then how I play, I've opted for more flank troops. That's what I wanted. That's why I got Shining Spears. And this is also why I've included Fire and Fade. I think having 2 Fire and Fade can prove to be a problem, because you've got 2 of them in your hand and then you don't have anything to play on. But 1 Fire and Fade you can absolutely get away with. So that's what I'm opting to play with instead. It's a bit different of a deck. Bit of a different take on this deck, but still mostly the same, with, you know, my personal twists, I'd say. And yeah, this is the deck which I believe is genuinely a problem. Actually, it's like Gene Stealer. Well, maybe in hyping up a bit too much, I don't know, let's think, but it feels like to me that it is actually Gene Stealer level problem / Imperial Guard level problem with like Vitus Griff. I mean, like, Vitus Griff is just a problem with itself, and I love it how that's the only reason why Imperial Guard are broken probably right now. But it's so much of a problem that Imperial Guard has to be considered to be a problem. And I think this, in combination with everything, achieves that level of problem. It's going along the lines of the fact that we only have 5 stratagems in our deck, so it's very, very consistent. So what are the stratagems, basically? The 5 stratagems are Tactical Insight, only 1 copy. Humanity Shield in emergency just in case scenario. However, you could argue just removing that and putting in something else altogether. Maybe a Chiron, something like that. We are going pretty wide with this deck. What else we got? Gather the Company, a single copy. We only need 1 copy so that we can draw into more troops and stuff and refill a hand. It also gives you double codex triggers, which is really important. Inspired Retribution, just able to deal with something big. That's important. And finally, the big thing itself, Avenging Zeal. Yes, this is a proper Avenging Zeal deck, and the worst nightmare for everybody is it's also a go wide deck, which means that Avenging Zeal is really, really bloody good. It's kind of taking everything that I've done with Ultramarines and like the various builds to go wide and that sort of stuff, and implementing some codex and I mean, like, it wouldn't be possible with any other Warlord list, no doubt about it. And what's crazy about it, it has best synergy with Sergeant Talion. It is, as I say, it is a very good deck. In my opinion, I am confident in saying that it's the best Ultramarines deck. Whether it does get into that sort of like S tier broken category, I'm not gonna say it's I don't think it's as powerful as Gene Stealers, but my golly, does it sometimes pull off BS that you're kind of like, what on earth? And the crazy part is, the scary thing about it is how surprisingly consistent it is able to do that. Like, it's never a bad deck. Sometimes it is just a good deck, but then sometimes it's borderline broken. Borderline broken? No, completely broken, not borderline. It just blows out of the water. Yeah. Let's get into a few games now. So, I've played against 2 opponents recently. I played against Zwoxis. I can't pronounce your name, mate. I do apologize. Zwoxis and then Tofu San. So we're going to get into 3 games here. He was running, let me double check for everyone. Tofu San. Asmodai, Varitogiris, Zyla Hexagon, and Commissar Denkler. I've opted to ban his Commissar Denkler, and I'm pretty sure he opted to ban my Commissar Denkler decks. So we're going to get through the games now, and first off is Varitogiris versus Asmodai. So here, of course, we get rid of Pistol Librarian. I was debating whether I move it Pyromancer Pulsar. It might be too late, but late game, but I opted to keep it because it is a very good 5 energy drop.
What is yet to come is for us to decide.
So draw some cards, or draw some stations. Get to here. He does, you know, standard Asmodai open deck play, really. Things here. The other one is like just he puts a, what's it called, Sergeant Taman in. Then I get the Firstborn. I was debating whether I played Firstborn here with Octavius Infiltrator, but I opted to keep it and keep Octavius Infiltrator for a more important time. He puts pretty standard company veteran just to protect himself. Very useful hit. So, here's another point of decision making, which certainly at the time, I wasn't sure if I made the right decision or not. I was debating if I should have used Octavius Infiltrator, whether I used it on Asmodai, in which case he can shoot, and you would have to use hero power to deal with it, or whether I used it on the actual guy himself, so he stays at 4 life. Still a couple of decisions already through this game which could have changed things, but I opted just to trade and save this for another time. He uses Grim Efficiency here, so he creates another secret. I think he's created 2 secrets already. And of course he's now actually winning that sort of like trade war early on, which is strange to say, but we're about to take things back here, as one would hope. Got the Reaver here, punching hit. Firstborn.
We are the sons of Gilliman.
Excuse me. And Tactical Insight here. Very importantly, allows us to draw more stratagems, so it's able to get us those key stratagems here. So the only things left are like Humanity Shield and Avenging Zeal. And of course we get the Avenging Zeal here, which is very nice. So now we have some really good plays here. We've got the Primus Impulsor followed by Octavius Infiltrator, and then we could do the Firstborn into Gather the Company. He plays another Taman. This time he plays a Back Knight, which is probably the best possible counter he could do. Able to remove the Firstborn. He has a Taman which is in stealth, which I can't remove, and he goes along and creates more secrets, because when you're ahead, you just create more secrets, right? And get even more ahead. But very importantly, thankfully, we have a very good tempo play here. Blinding him, deploying a guy. And we're able to use the blind, of course, to get some damage in for free, which is quite nice. He goes along, plays this guy, and he does get very unlucky here. Another secret created, but it hits this guy. The only worst thing for him would have been hitting face, because then he had to deal with more stuff. I will say, I think he should have just... Or does he deal with the impulsor? I think he does, actually. Yes, he does. He does deal with the impulsor. Does mean I get my bit of my health back, you know, like, sort of thing, but here, another debatable choice as well. We could have played Sergeant Gadriel, and we already had a guy on the field, so it would have been like 3 separate 2 to 3 damage pings. We're most likely able to get that guy, but even if we don't, we can just trade both into here, and then we did quite a bit of damage on to Asmodai himself. However, we opted not for that because I wanted more options at the end of the day. And it gives us 2 Codex triggers, which is better than 1 when it comes to undoing Avenging Zeal. Now, we did get the Humanity Shield, which is pretty unlucky because it was 1 in 18 chance. I guess 3 times, but you know how it goes. And so, but we still get 2 energy left, able to use Hero Power and Smite, and we did get lucky on the Smite. They're able to just do damage here, and then we opted to just get the beat down going because we know we've taken that advantage. We got the Avenging Zeal cost down. We're getting some more resources in. We've opted, you know, we're actually starting to get ahead, and we're only going to get even more ahead, which I think is the key thing here. So he trades in here, uses Hero Power to remove that guy. Very smart play. Ideally, you do remove the firstborns before they become a problem, which he does. And here we're like, we could Avenging Zeal, but we've got no flank play. That's the problem with Avenging Zeal. It's not as if I can kill him next turn with Avenging Zeal, or in a couple of turns. So I opt for Sergeant Gadriel here, decrease the cost of Avenging Zeal, of course, and we get a whole bunch of damage in with there being a Serious Infiltrator with it as well. You get some pretty darn good play here, getting Samael to be able to deal with this guy. And then he can quite easily deal with that. Now I'm thinking to myself, oh gosh, what am I going to do to deal with Samael? I guess I was thinking to myself, maybe I'll have to hard removal it, or I was going to have to do Avenging Zeal into this play. But thankfully I get the Primus and Scepter. I buff up all my units, including my Warlord. There we go, I can do English, promise. And use my free energy drop just to trade into here. This is slightly different here, you see. Unlike the last turn I could have used it, is the fact that I am now, after the punch, threatening lethal with just my Warlord. So if I'm threatening lethal with just my Warlord, well, he's got to do something about me, like putting a Vanguard in the way or something like that, and I've got hard removal to deal with that. And in worst case scenario, if he can't get through all that, I still have a Lieutenant Calcius and maybe a Smite. Still, you can't stop me, so I just go along and play Calcius, play the Honor Guard. I'm unable to claim lethal there. So, good game there. But I can promise you all right now, that is just standard Varo Tigurius. This is not broken Varo Tigurius. This is not me pulling any of the broken triggers that I could do with Varo Tigurius. That is just like... That is like Varo Tigurius at its weakest state. I'm gonna make that clear. That is the weakest Varo Tigurius is going to get. So yeah. We'll go into the next game. So next game is, of course, against Tofu Shan, is Janezar versus his Varo Tigurius. So he's probably going for a bit more of the Assault Doctrine sort of play. I think he was anyway. I removed one of these because I was thinking, right, I've got a flank play. Eldritch Storm's a useful card to have in an emergency. I've got 1 Ranger, so I probably don't need 2. And now I've got 2 emergency cards.
You face the storm of
Heyo.
silence.
What is yet to come is for us to decide.
And yeah, they're pretty darn useful. I think in this game he opts to draw a card. And he opts to also go aggro. Which I will say against Janezar, If you're going for the assault doctrines, I think is a mistake.
Hold still.
I don't think he's to beat down here. I think is my point. Once you got the assault doctrines, of course, you are now to beat down as Varitagiris, and you absolutely take every single combat you can take, as you can with him. But I wouldn't be punching him. So here we are. Opts for stunning him. Because clearly I don't want him to punch me. But nah, in all seriousness though, the stunning him forces him to actually use something to be able to deal with my ranger. And since because he has to use something, he now can't like remove the stone afterwards, which is kind of the point of the play.
Taking cover. Enemies in range.
He makes a pretty darn good play here, and he gets the ping which he needs. So that forces me to respond in a way that, you know, I have to use the Howling Banshee here. I could have used this to remove it, I guess, but I wanted to save it for later and be energy efficient, so I deal with that, and I used the Howling Banshee to deal with the Stone Guard Sergeant. Plays the Inceptor Sergeant, and I think he goes, yeah, he draws another stratagem. The same again here, we're going along and getting the so-and-so, extra stone. I opt to not use Shining Spear here just because I was like, that's going to use a stone. And if I could hold on to 2 stones for the Eldritch Storm, you know, I would have liked to. Same again, you know, just dealing with Varitagiris. Goes to a smite. Gets unlucky dealing with that. And he uses then decides to go for Primus Sanctiter just to deal with it properly that time. And uses the Chapter's Due. Nice card cycle card, really. I actually really like the card. I don't think it's a bad card at all. I then go along and say, do you know what? I'll use the Shining Spear here. Put down the Guardian Defender. I could have played Narud Fireheart, but I kind of want to keep it for that very powerful strike effect. So I opted just to use the stone deal. And same again, stunning him and then punching him in the face. And very importantly, Warlord's stunned, and I've got this guy down, which is just annoying to deal with, particularly for one drop, which is why it's so good. Goes along, plays Miser Heroes, uses Tactical Insight, now plays Chapter's Due, but unfortunately for him, he doesn't get the second trigger there. I guess it just wasn't possible. So I go along, I destroy the shield here, and I use the Wind Riders to take him out. And then I play the Ranger as well.
Hold still.
Stunning him, of course. And quite importantly, going along, doing the damage, but also getting that extra stone there. So that now I do have 4 stones, they would use all these Eldritch Storms, which is a very important, crucial point to be at. Because he makes a very good play here, using this guy, guaranteeing basically 2 pings to hit him, getting around that stealth sort of effect. And he proceeds to still draw more stratagems, which is, yeah, he has done, might as well. I'm then very much in dilemma there here, like what do I actually do? Eldritch Storm, and I do get maximum damage of Varitagiris, but I don't deal with this guy. So I opt to just, instead of trying to use anything else here, I just go, right, I'll just go for the stun, save my value that I've got, and I end up hitting that guy, so I'm able to do just more damage to him here. Of course, now he has a very dangerous Sergeant Talion play.
We are the sons of Gilliman.
Goes for a humanity shield. And he doesn't... No, actually, I made a mistake here. I thought he messed up here. But actually, he had maximum cards anyway, because he had the Sergeant Talion and Firstborn. So that's completely my fault here. I thought he could have used his hero power. He couldn't have, because he had max cards. So, there we are. So then I go for Eldritch Storm. And it ends up being an absolutely fantastic Eldritch Storm. Dealing with that, dealing with the Firstborn. So I don't actually have to play anything afterwards. I can just stun him here. Because, well, might as well. He might be able to do something and be able to play the, what's it called? So-and-so card. Now, he very importantly does get a Vanguard and way, the Honor Guard, which is a real pain, actually. So I think I have to play Fireheart here. And I think for this play, I opt to go for hitting face here. But I don't want Calcius to be able to punch me and able to get that 3 extra damage in. So I just go for the stun play here. I'm fairly confident I can get lethal with the Crimson Hunter and then the Dance of Death. But of course, unfortunately, he has another problem with the another Honor Guard. So I'm thinking, right, how am I able to deal with the Honor Guard and also get an extra damage in here? But I can use hero power to get 4 damage in. So that's fairly confident. But then he makes this crazy play where he's getting several Codex triggers. Gets the Tactical Insight and then opts for the Chaplain. I guess he just didn't have a 2 energy drop. Hey ho. It happens. So here I was thinking, how on earth am I not able to deal with this? Thankfully I have just enough energy to be able to use this guy. Able to play Wind Riders.
Swift demise.
And get that 4 attack on my Warlord. To able to claim lethal with that. An extremely close game. And my god, he was very close to be able to claim victory there. I presume he wasn't going for the what's it called? I'm trying to think now. Assault Doctrine card. I presume he was actually going for my deck on, well, the deck I had on Vara Tigurius. It's the, what was it? Vara Tigurius combo deck. Then we got the final game against Tofushan. Tofushan. And it's Asile Hexagon versus Asmodai again. So I looked at this card, I think these are pretty decent stuff, kind of things you want. I replaced the other guy because I don't think I want 2 copies of Warp Talon.
The walk flows through.
Ideally I like a 3 energy drop, which funny enough works out here. Very nice start, Diabolic Strength, kind of what you want to see. You kind of want to see that, or you want to see Infernal Gaze. And of course I attack him now. He makes a very problematic play here for me. So I'm very much debating, do I actually play Possessed Marine or do I use this guy? And I opt to play this guy instead, thinking he's just going to use Agenda to gain points all the time. And he plays this. He plays Defense Turrets. And then I was thinking, dude, he's going to use a Ravering Bikes. Okay, this guy. But no, I'm completely mistaken. I do apologise for the yawn, but he actually uses Agenda here. Which makes sense. He wants to keep his stuff alive, actually, which I think actually probably is the right play.
From the wall.
So I play a Warp Talent and I decide he's got so much healing he can do with this guy. There's no point even punching him. It's just 3 damage for him. So I opt not to do that. He does this, plays a very nice 4NG drop, punches me, and it heals up. So I'm left at this point, I'm going, well, I can either play Possessed Marine, particularly with Diabolic Strength. Very nice situation right now. Or I can just play this guy and just deal with the things which I see in front of me. Which I opt to do. Because you kind of sometimes need to make the excuse to be able to play a sorcerer.
None shall escape the wrath of Caliban.
You sometimes do. It's a very powerful tempo card, but no, sometimes you don't always get the tempo. So you have to like just say, hey, deal with this. And he does. He does use the Inner Circle Champion to somewhat deal with it. And he gets the very key healing here. So I'm thinking here, oh dear, I'm actually somewhat behind. So I opt for go for Venom Crawler and just go for, because we're on such high life, we don't need a Vanguard right now. Well, at least I hope I don't. So yeah, give the Camouflage, give the so-and-so, just in case he gets one of his secrets for hard removal, if he innately runs the hard removal secret. But now I'm thinking, right, you now have to deal with this guy. So he draws 3 cards for Desperate Mission. Pretty good time to use Desperate Mission here, and he plays this guy. Very useful actually, because now he gets that key point. And he does get the damage here, which I think he probably wanted. But he does have to trade in a lot. Yeah, he wanted this. He has to trade in a lot. But he can now continue to sit back, heal up. He's drawn some extra cards as well. More likely, he's able to get more secrets. And I'm thinking to myself, what do I do? So I host for Chaos to see what I can get. I get a nice Draconian here, which is very useful coming in later.
In your nightmares.
And I just deal with board afterwards. Now, I think this is when he starts making... Nah, this is where I'm able to make the excuse to be able to just play Draconian and go face. Yeah, Sergeant Taman. Yep, I see the Murderous Desires. I'm like, the best guy to use this on is my ward, least most reliable. So hence I go for the smite, ends up hitting face, and I'm like, right, we just have to be punching him before he's able to get those secrets up and running. Plays a Redemptor here.
Vengeance is eternal.
And that's gonna do a lot of damage, because not only there's ping here, but there's also this. He's now able to do damage for free because the Redemptor. You're getting the idea. I presume this guy goes along and becomes Vanguard, so I have to now deal with this guy before I even get to the Redemptor himself. And the Redemptor, of course, is just pounding me. Now, I don't get Diabolic Strength, which was what I was really hoping for, but I do have a Dark Orrery. So of course I play Spawnedom, one of the best comeback cards in the game. Diabolic Strength right here. Demonic Pact, sorry. Very important card, so I don't like take a whole bunch of damage when dealing with stuff. And I opt for Vanguard. I find, unless you need to shoot something which is flying, find it better, because if you do have one, then they're just in the way with their Vanguard, and they have to actually just like deal with it, you know? So then I'm able to very much mop up board with all that vulnerable. And thankfully, because I am invulnerable, I'm able to get that damage in for free there. Now this is where I'm really crossing my fingers, right? Because next turn I have Murderous Desires. And 8 damage twice, of course, is 16, and that's the amount of life he's got. And guess what? Well, not only did I have Helldrake Strike, I would need the 4 damage with Murderous Desires to be able to kill him here. I could use both. 4 damage, of course, bringing him to 12, and then I could Murderous Desires. But I do get the Diabolic Strength, which is a guarantee to then just win. So I do that, punch face, murderous desires, and just somewhat snipe the victory out from Asmodai here. Very well played to my opponent. I think he played well in all the games, to be honest, now looking back on it. And I think he just got a little bit unlucky at the wrong time, sort of thing. It happens. It happens. It has happened to me before, 100%. Very well played to you. It was a 3-0 victory overall. And now we're going to be getting to something which is a pretty darn interesting set of games against Zwoxis. So, first game, where is it? I think it's against... Oh no, wait, hold on. It's not that. It's not that. Here we are. Baro Tigurius versus Anvia Keltok. He seems to be a very good Anvia Keltok player. He seems to like his Eldar, so I opt for this, just to be able to just get through and just get the win here.
What is yet to come is for us to decide.
Your kind still has many crimes to answer for.
He of course gets the first turn. And this is quite a nice curve out. I opt for going high factory first to put the pressure on. Using the Stern Guard Sergeant. And as you'll see, most people seem to punch me in the face. And I would agree with that. If I was not running this style of deck, of course. So I can't blame anybody for thinking, oh yes, he's going for the Assault Doctrine or Star, where he's going to beat me in the late game. No, I'm not doing that. I'm going for a very much burn pressure style of deck. Using a Warlord you wouldn't normally see for that. You normally see Lavarius for that. At the end of the day, I get pretty nice here. So I got the Avenging Zeal. I played Intercessor Sergeant because it's guaranteed able to, you know, deal with this. I then deal with that guy. And I deal with that. Now getting Avenging Zeal here was a very nice top deck, because now I've got 2 Codex triggers off, well, with Avenging Zeal, and able to deal with problems. Because stuns me, deals with that, and deals with my Intercessor Sergeant Howling Banshee. Now, admittedly, I do get a lucky ping here, where I got no other play but play the Stern Guard Sergeant. So I go along, I play him. I generate a card which doesn't get used, because of course I have no energy to use it. Thankfully the ping does go over here, and I'm able to deal with the guy. Now I imagine, yeah, he does. He goes along and plays this. And deals with my Stern Guard Sergeant. Taking the 3 damage, but now he has the permanent Shuriken 2 on him. And he's able to, of course, get that card cycle going, get rid of the card he doesn't want, get the extra stone sort of thing. Now, I opt for Primus Impulse here. You could go for Sergeant Battalion, but there's nothing to combine it with. Ideally, you do combine it with something, so I opt to keep it here, thinking that maybe I'll try Primaris Chaplain next, and then combine it with that. But then I see that actually Avenging Zeal is at 6 energy cost, and that is an ideal curve out for Avenging Zeal. So he goes along and attacks this, thinking, right, I've got to deal with this now. And he's got his plays down. He typically uses this for a big tempo play, and I think he likes the extra stones. Now we've got the Avenging Zeal, and I look at the situation and I go, right, actually, this does 5 damage, and then I've also got 4 damage, and then now he's on 4 life, and he will die next turn if I'm able to punch him.
Come, warriors.
And he looks at the situation and just goes, right, okay, I think I've lost. Which I can't blame him for. So we got the next game. Anvia Telco, Virategris. Yes, Commissar Denkler versus his second time he's using Anvia Keltok. Now, I will admit, this is a terrible starting hand. You do not want a Godspear. I do not want a Vox Operator. He's a combo play much more in the later game. And then kind of Chimera, nah, he's too expensive. He's 6 energy cost. I should have actually replaced High Command. I should have got rid of it, really. I opted to keep through it. My mistake. I ended up regretting it because I still don't have great plays here. The best thing I've got is Artillery Strike, which frankly deal with some stuff. And he is a very nice opener play. Of course, my Commissar Denkler deck is a bit different. And I do get another 4 energy drop, which I will make clear isn't the best thing to have when I already have a 4 energy play to play with. Rather would have liked a 3 energy play.
Always vigilant.
So yeah, pretty poor start for me here. Some reason why he doesn't pick up the stone, I'm not entirely sure why. But hey ho, this is how these things happen. I played his servo zone tree, so this becomes a 5 cost. So the idea was got 4 costs and 5 costs and able to tempo into it. And of course I give this guy the extra life, and fortunately he doesn't hit this guy here because I would able to deal with him with Warlord if I used, you know, got the shot off.
Surround them. Strangle them.
Here's the strike Scorpion. Ends up dealing with the so-and-so and then deals with the sentry as well. So this is not the best position for me here. Now, in this situation, a Valkyrie drop would be better. Got plenty of options here, but I ultimately think I have to go along and deal with this board. So I shoot for that guy, getting the guaranteed hit on this guy here. So I want to make sure I get him. Shame I only got 3 damage to face, but hey, that's part of the game at the end of the day. He gets the Howling Banshee, able to stun me. So I opt for here just mechanized infantry at this point. Hoping he doesn't have an Eldritch Storm, just able to blast through it all and all that stuff. He doesn't have that, but he has a Vengeful Graveblade.
To the front.
Opt for going for Flamers here, hoping... Ah yes, this was what I'm going to do. Flamers, they're able to deal with this board here. Thankfully I get the 3 damage on a guy, so I'm able to use that 1 ping, they're able to get stone. And then they're able to use that Summary Execution, very importantly, they're able to deal with the Vengeful Graveblade itself. I do believe that's probably one of his bigger units. I also have another Summary Execution if he gets something else up. So I don't think it's that bad of a play if he wants to.
The shadows are always vigilant.
So of course he does deals with my Flamer, that makes complete sense. He's like the only guy who can actually go along and deal with some stealth troops here. So he deals with him. And I'm thinking to myself, what do I want to play here? I opt for Chimera.
Prepare for immediate deployment.
I could have done something like, okay, a Standard Bearer shot this guy, and then some Execution Guardsman. Would have not been that great. Could have gone Scout Sentinel, but unfortunately, to no surprise, he's got the second Vengeful Wraithblade, so he's able to completely deal with this guy, and is able to get that pressure going on. So I play Acadian Standard Bearer. Could have gone straight into Summary Execution, opt not to. Using that high command, at least it had some sort of purpose. Playing the Kasrkin. So I knew I could play the Kasrkin, the Summary Execution, and also this. And ultimately, I was somewhat taking a risk here. But this is a misplay. I realise this now. This was a massive misplay from my part. My golly. What I should have done is actually, after getting myself flank with this guy, he's able to use duty to ping this guy. He would have been down, and then I could have summary execution him to deal with the board. I ended up taking a really risky play, hoping the ping goes here, and then taking another risky play, 50-50 chance, end up missing, and now I'm behind. That was a misplay.
I bring swift demise.
He's able to getting this, Wind Riders, and striking Banshee. Able to do that. He'd end up clearing board. Yes, I'm ahead on life, but he ultimately owns the board. The only thing I think I could have won me this game from this point would have been a God Spear. Even still, dealing with this board, there's too much stuff here. This would be lethal on its own. So I have to take this out, have to give him flank, have to shoot it. I end up dealing with it, but does he get me lethal this turn? Not quite, I think. Because of the extra life though, and extra range attack, ends up playing this guy.
When the wind cries, retribution has arrived.
Because of the extra life, he's actually able to get the plus extra attack with the Howling Banshee, and then uses the Wind Rider actually to finish me off. But very importantly, because of that, he now actually has free attack on his Warlord, which is pretty darn scary. I can't, because I'm stunned, I can't use the Flamer Trooper. So I go for this play. Fortunately, I didn't hit any of the right targets. Give myself extra life. Well, I say any. Of course, this is useful, but it would have been ideal over here. End up playing Scout Sentinel, and this is when I realise, even without this,
retreat has been authorized.
he already had lethal. I just realised it like a bit too late. GG's to him. Next up, we've got, so that's the Tiberius Commissar Dinkler. We've got Xyla Hexcorn and Xyla Hexcorn. And I think Xyla Hexcorn for me has been pretty clutch, and I think you're going to see in this game also that it's been pretty clutch here as well. End up replacing Murderous Desires.
The warp flows.
Go get a nice starting card, end up smiting him. He just has a quite a slow play, so probably not the best of starts. Thankfully for me. He is, I opt to play Noise Marine, getting the Marcus Nash on it by attacking. Of course, I do believe at this point in time, at least I'm the beatdown. I end up getting Traitor's Hate, thank goodness, because I'm actually able to deal with that board. Not only that, but also just extra Marcus Chaos on here. Smite, be able to deal annoying things. I do. Here, I know I need the extra life to keep him alive, and I wanted to deal with that without actually doing so and so. So I give regeneration here. I might as well do that instead of camouflage, because I'm just going to lose the camouflage with Marcus Zinch anyway, and they both now would be on the same life. So I force him to deal. Now he probably has the same idea that I do with the Scout Sentinel into so-and-so, so I mean I don't really have much of a play here. There's nothing which can really deal with that. So I just play Sorcerer instead and hope for the best. He then has the Rattling, the Commissar, Casket. And then here are some two very nice pings. Going exactly the right order, getting that card draw. And now he's like, right, he can start getting the pressure on me, which I completely understand. I have no choice but to put Heldrake Strike into here. I have to deal with this. This is just too much, like, regiment value. And I end up getting the 5 damage on him and dealing with everything. Could have... The Rattling was going to die, of course, but the Kaskin could have lived. So it was pretty nice. And when I say I got pretty clutch, I needed this extra Heldrake Strike, I think. And thankfully, Of course, it was always going to deal with that guy. Fortunately, it didn't deal with this, but it did get 6 damage in here, which puts me in such a good position to be able to claim lead 4 at this point. So he goes along, plays the Borgrin, he has to do that, you know, he's such low life, he needs to keep himself alive. I look at the situation though and go, right, I kind of want better options. So I end up drawing cards, and then I opt for, you know what, the Demonic Pact here. It gives this guy, very importantly, vulnerable. I, of course, do this first. It ends up pinging here. Vulnerable kicking in. Able to help me deal with this, you know, the Vanguard, and I do have spawned them.
Just a flesh wound. I'll have you back on your feet.
So he goes along, creates another card, has the Acadian Medic. He opts to trade in the Ogryn, which you might say is a bit strange, but he is actually healing up. He doesn't play the Acadian Shock Trooper. So I end up playing Spawndom here. End up trading everything in. And here I just wanted to make sure, really make sure that I was going to win by literally there being no other target for my Warlord Punch here. So I punched there and then Murderous Desires for the win there. Very clutch game there, getting the double Helldrake strike when I needed it, really. Next game. So it's 1-1 right now against... Oh no, sorry, 2-1 right now against Ursula Creed. I only have Commissar Denkler left. And then we're going to get into another game here. Well, I removed this. This is a much more reasonable hand. I've got 3 energy drops, got 5 energy drops, of course.
Know your place, Commissar.
It is better going second with this, I think, because you get the 2 energy drop, which you can make into a decent 2 energy play. But here, I just opt for this. I opt to not go aggro, because I'm like, he could do some stuff which I may not like. And lo and behold, everybody, is a Verban Vanquisher. He is a Quinn Servo Sentry. He deploys a guy with his counter attack, and then he deploys another guy with his duty ability. That is a bit of a crazy start. And you'll see throughout this game that I am just trying to deal with
we hold the line
this constant pressure here. And I'm really just crossing my fingers, hoping I'd get a Flamer Trooper. Not really Godspear, because a Godspear is too late in the game, so I kind of just need a Flamer Trooper. He gets a Cassigan as well, the perfect play, I'd say. Like tempo play, they're able to just pile on that damage, potentially draw a card draw as well. Yeah, it's very solid stuff here. I opt for this play because I can't give these Shock Troopers flank. I give the Chimera decreased cost to be able to give me another option. I do this play to hope for Cassigan hitting something very useful. Thankfully this goes face. This is, you know, ideal actually. So he has the more difficult time dealing with my troops.
Just a flesh wound. I'll have you back on your feet.
And he gets the Acadian Medic, but also the Rattling as well. And he's able to just keep on piling that pressure, going directly damage to face. I play this guy Chimera because I realized I don't really have anything. Like I could have played this guy, but he's better as a flank play. Could have played this guy and guess I could have given it flank. Still not that great, but he's still quite comfortably able to, at the end of the day, able to deal with this Chimera. Both things going into there and just still keeps them back under pressure. I then decide that this is probably my best option. Just spamming in the infantry. But I'm already behind and I'm basically crossing my fingers for a... what's it called? Flamer Trooper. But of course, even by this point, he's got armor now on all these troops. So even by this point, I'm probably behind. And he's able to get a whole bunch of damage in here. I go along and do this, thinking I could take out the Ogryn. Nope. And at that point, I was just like, I've lost. There's no way I've won this. I think I concede. Yes, I do concede. Because he was going to win. and I could tell. So it leaves us 2-2 at the end of the day. My Commissar Denkler versus his Xyla Hexcorn. And this is what this Commissar Denkler deck can actually do. Going second, as I say, is a bit better. Able to replace the stuff. I now have a decent curve out.
The war flows through, and it will be your doom.
I'm pretty sure I put in timely reinforcements. They would have just keep the pressure on and give an extra life, so he's in the way. He then does that. I then get the Shock Trooper Sergeant, and I give it flank to deal with this. Because the Scout Sentinel can't give flank anyway, and Vitus Griff, well, he's a very powerful legendary, don't get me wrong. He's also don't allow me to win here anyway, so he continues to bash against the Guardsman, which makes sense. I'm like, right, okay, let's play the Scout Sentinel, because he's done me pretty well protected here, trying 2 Vanguards. Of course, the Shock Trooper Sergeant giving me that extra Vanguard troop. But he has a Spawndom here. And long story short is, he's able to really just get through all of these guys. Doesn't even have to use anything. Gives it mark of so-and-so. And able to shoot it. But thankfully, I have a Vitus Griff. So I shoot there and able to deploy a guy. Fortunately though, he has his own Helldrake strike. But he gets fairly unlucky. Yeah, actually unlucky. Not getting that 4 damage, maybe 5, maybe even 6, dealing with Vitus Griff. Very importantly, the reason why that's the case is because maybe I should have played this guy, don't know. But I'm able to give Vitus Griff the extra life and able to deploy another Tempestus equivalent.
Armed and ready.
I think I put that on the Vox Operator because I could get a Chimera next turn. If I get Chimera next turn, then able to play the Vox Operator with it. Bit of a slow turn, but I didn't want to play a Flamer Trooper here. You know, I wanted to save that. They would deal with a board sort of thing. Ends up playing that guy. Plays the Vanguard, which is in the way. So now I'm going, right. I think the best play, as we will see here, is Primaris Psyker. So I need to play this guy, give it flank.
I channel the Emperor's fury.
Smite the guy. And I'm able to use this guy to shoot this guy down. Gets another Warp Talon. Use Zesmarine to be able to clear up shot here. You know, right play, hoping to hit here. If he doesn't hit here, then he'll just punch and take the damage. Now, I kind of made a small misplay here. I think I was thinking that, you know, I could play this and play this. And then I, of course, had high command. So I undo it here. Very crucial play. End up playing here, and then I realize, oh wait, I couldn't do everything that I actually wanted to. So I give the guy flank, of course, because I was always going to do that. Now the option was, do I summon execution like the Flamer Trooper or this guy, or do I just play the Scout Sentinel, give it flank so I can play something? I opt for this play because you could have Venom Crawlers, and I think I want to save these for Venom Crawlers at the end of the day. So he gets some more card draw going, plays this guy. Very nice Dark Axe play. He's got the thingy. They're able to give it extra bonuses as well, so he's able to deal. He seizes the Vox Operator, which I don't blame him for, to be honest. Because the Vox Operator is a bit of a problem. And then he starts to opt to go for aggro, putting the Vanguard on, leaving that would hopefully protect him. I then go for the Flamer Trooper play. They're able to somewhat deal with this board here. I'm not exactly worried that this guy got increased range attack. I guess he could have lived. Not particularly bothered. I now play that Chimera. Could have played this, but I think I wanted to save it for the summary execution play.
Live in your nightmares.
He then comes up with a pretty decent thing going on here. Ends up dealing with the board, and then uses Murderous Desires to actually take out the Flamer Trooper. Decent response, but he is using important cards to be able to deal with problems. Here, I just decided to go Chimera. And because I've played Chimera, I'm able to play Mechanized Infantry. And I shoot in the face. I think at this point, he realizes there's no possible way he can win, which he then concedes. That ends up being a 3-2 victory to me. Very close games, very good player. GG to Zwoxis. Zwoxis? I don't know. Zwoxis. GG, mate. And yeah. I hope you enjoyed that. We'll get some tournaments going. More tournament games going soon. I'll probably do my live perspective. It's just because I've had a new computer that I couldn't do the live perspective version. Oh well. I'm trying, you know. I had to set it up. But yeah, hopefully we get some live streams going. And yeah, I hope to see you there. See you guys.